Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is your weekly review for August 17th through 21st. Quick reminder before we start, this is educational. It's how I read the market with the Conflux method, not a signal service and not financial advice. Trading futures and options carries real risk, so take this as a walkthrough of my thinking. Let's get into it. First, a look back at last week, then the week ahead. Let's start with last week. It was a thin one. Almost everything traded in a flat. Nothing special happened. The CPI stayed put, so no decline, which means September could easily come in higher, given the time lag that oil puts in and the fact that the previous data was painted, and risk assets got a bit gloomy on that. After 2 days of inflation data, September rate hike expectations dropped to 35%. And through the end of the year, they fell very hard overall. The interesting part is who Warsh even is. A completely non-public figure. Unlike Powell, who at least showed up in public every couple or 3 weeks. This one is a total quiet type. So whether he suddenly hikes in September or not, there's zero clarity. Now to the week ahead, and let's start with the euro. Broadly, we've formed almost the maximum volatility of the contract up top, given the expiration timing. The Wednesday zone is good too. They piled open interest onto the visible levels nicely. There are no drivers in the market until Friday, and the probability of reaching 1.1793 is around 1%. There are 2 options here for working buys, both confirmed from the clusters. Now to the pound. Interesting options also went in here, on the December contract and on the current one too, on the zones of interest. The lower area is quite interesting overall, though buying, they probably won't correct that deep, but selling toward 1.3360 is very interesting. That's one of the main options for sells by the end of the contract. At the open, off 1.35, if they pull back, I'll consider buys. Now, the Australian dollar. If the euro and the pound go on to finish off all the debts up top, then the Aussie heads to 72. And from there, it's interesting to work towards 70. The maximum volatility of Wednesday and of the week sits on the reaction level zones. Tomorrow from the open, I'll be watching the liquidity zone and how they react to it, since it's very interesting from the clusters, but no more than that. Now to the Japanese yen. Here's what's expected in volatility through the end of the week. The upside on the options is traded on Monday. The guys have an expectation of an intervention. I decided to take a look at the Canadian dollar too. Off the white zones you can work, and I'll set alerts there for myself. Up top, the main debt is at 1.4050, and on the downside, I'll watch work at 1.3675. The volatility lined up great here, so I'll be working it. Now, to the S&P 500. Here's what's interesting to trade on the current contract. On the December one, it's just ideal. On the exit from the open risk, there's the maximum volatility of Wednesday, and there you can look at a stop option, and the maximum volatility of the week landed just beautifully on the safety spread. So somewhere around there, I'll be waiting for a reversal into a correction. And gold, as I warned, went up. The maximum volatility of a Wednesday in the week, end of the contract, is quite interesting if they give that kind of volatility. That's the plan for the week. Remember, these are zones and scenarios I'm watching. The market decides, not me. So let price come to your levels and let the confirmations line up before you act. If this breakdown was useful, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next weekly review, and drop a comment with the instrument you want me to cover. And one more time, so we're clear, none of this is financial advice. I don't sell signals and I don't promise profits. This is educational content about the Conflux method, and everything here is my own view of the market. Trading futures and options involves a substantial risk of loss. So never risk money you can't afford to lose, and always do your own analysis. Take care, manage your risk, and I'll see you in the next one.